instill honesty in the hearts of humanity. So once again, whatever I can do, I will do for both the Muslims and the Christians. Because at the end of the day, it's not the fear of Yahya Jammeh that will make people to be, because they know that Yahya Jammeh cannot see everything. But when you fear God, you know that whatever you are doing, God is seeing you. And that's the most important thing.
The Gambian leader also applauded the Christian community for their comportment in the society, whilst making it vehemently clear that his government will not tolerate any act that will jeopardize the peaceful coexistence between Muslims and Christians in the country.
With regards to tolerance, I'm not going to compromise on that. You worship the way you want, I worship the way I want. Allah even said in one of the Suratul Kafirun, Lakum dinukum waliyadin. Follow your religion, let me follow my religion. The Quran didn't say kill those who do not believe in you. Also, you've never heard anywhere that during the life of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Muhammad, during his jihad, he attacked any Christian or destroyed any church. And if anything, the first hijrah, when he asked his people to flee Mecca because their lives were in danger, he told them to go to Abyssinia, present-day Ethiopia, to a Christian king. And he said, that guy is a good man, that ruler is a good man, he will protect you because he worships the same God that we worship. Today, you this half-baked, they go, they don't even read the Quran properly, they come back and start talking about nonsense. It is not going to happen in this country.
Donations like this one are always received with joy, as it goes a long way in complementing the efforts of recipients, especially in preparation for religious feasts, like the Easter, and this one to the Christian community was no exception. Aissatou Badiane, GRTS.
Members of the Anti-AIDS Coalition gathered on Wednesday for the 4th HIV and AIDS Partnership Forum. The high-level convergence organized by the National AIDS Secretariat in partnership with the UN system is among a raft of initiatives designed to stop mother-to-child transmission of HIV, the virus that causes AIDS. Modu Jala has more on that.
Its journey towards the elimination of mother-to-child transmission of HIV and AIDS in the Gambia. This partnership forum will provide a platform for stakeholders to discuss means of strengthening existing partnerships and harnessing limited resources to fight the epidemic, which claims millions of lives annually. In delivering his statement, the director of the National AIDS Secretariat, Usman Baji, dilated on the Secretariat's efforts over the years to combat the disease and reduce the rates of mother-to-child transmission.
The theme, like has been indicated by the chair for this particular 4th edition of the Partnership Forum, is partnership for the elimination of mother-to-child transmission of HIV in the Gambia. In the early days of the HIV epidemic, elimination of mother-to-child transmission was not among the priority interventions. However, after years of concerted effort, advances in treatment and new classes of drugs have provided the opportunity to greatly reduce rates of mother-to-child transmission of HIV worldwide.
It could be recalled that it was in 1986 that the first case of HIV was reported in the Gambia. Since then, the authorities have been doing all they could to control the disease and its spread. Ahmed Jagan Loom, the president of Network of AIDS Services Organizations, in delivering a statement on behalf of the civil society organizations, dilated on the achievements registered in the fight against HIV and AIDS. The Gambia, he continued, has one of the lowest HIV prevalence rates in the sub-region, which currently stands at 1.7%.
The Gambia has one of the lowest HIV prevalence rates in the sub-region, 1.7%, according to the 2011 Sentinel surveillance. But however, in spite of our low prevalence, we must not be complacent. Despite our achievements, we are also faced with challenges in our collective response to the epidemic. These include, of course, stigma and discrimination, the problem of disclosure of one's HIV status, and of course, inadequate funds, to name a few.
The Vice President and Minister of Women's Affairs, Her Excellency Ajah Dr. Aissatou Njie Seydi, in delivering the keynote address, said that the forum will create a conducive platform for information sharing for the elimination of mother-to-child transmission in the Gambia, and will further enhance networking and partnership among stakeholders in national HIV and AIDS response.
In the Gambia, the HIV prevalence rate continues to be relatively low, as previous speakers have said. And the 2011 Sentinel surveillance results indicate that 1.67%, which is lower than rates in sub-Saharan Africa, of course, is the Gambian figure. An estimated 21,224 people are living with HIV, and overall, 3,571 people, of which 7% are children, are receiving ARVs, antiretrovirals, as of December 2012. This statistics, of course, calls for renewed action for further scale-up services, especially preventive programs.
He further said that the fight against HIV and AIDS is among government's priorities.
We have invested so much in creating the structures at all levels. However, we will continue to solicit your financial as well as technical support to consolidate our gains. I've listened to the representative of the UN system in the Gambia, and he highlighted the issue that we must work together. We must collaborate and save resources and plan together. And I think we should heed that advice as we discuss the plan that is put forward towards the elimination of mother-to-child transmission in the Gambia.
Dr. Babagara Amadou, the FAO resident representative, spoke of the need to maximize efforts to eliminate HIV infection among children and mothers.
Your Excellencies, the main objective of today's meeting is therefore for us to seriously consider how we can maximize our limited resources and in partnership to eliminate HIV infection among children and to keep their mothers alive. The UN system in the Gambia has been a long-standing partner of the government in supporting the national response to HIV and AIDS since the first case was discovered in the Gambia.
This one-day forum is a multi-sectoral approach that brings together stakeholders to discuss and share insights on how to eliminate mother-to-child transmission of HIV and AIDS in the Gambia. Mamadou Diallo, GRTS News.
Well, we now go with a very short break. When we come back, the news continues.
It's the Fatu Show again, back to school kids party. It's fun, and more fun. Family time with the kids at their favorite location, Dream Park. Saturday, 6th April 2013, 3 p.m. prompt. This time, more games, rides, comic hosting, and face painting. And your favorite artists.
That's right, G the Sensation, Broke Aturinka, Jolimani the Voice, and Manding Mori the Manding Warrior. $250 fee for the kids comes with a free drink and a free ticket for escort.
Any extra adult pays only $150.
A day for our kids, a day with the family, a day with Fatu Show. You will be on the Fatu Show. Don't miss the date. See you there.
Well, over to news from outside the Gambia now. Tension is growing on the Korean Peninsula as North Korea shut off all communication lines out of the secretive nation. Reports say the army has placed its strategic units on combat readiness with threats of possible attacks on U.S. and South Korean targets. And demonstrators in Cyprus are calling for the immediate resignation of the head of the Cypriot Central Bank. Many, as we hear in this roundup report, blame the central bank head for the recent financial crisis in Cyprus.
North Korean state-run television announced on Tuesday that conditions were now created for an imminent nuclear war. With Kim Jong-un at the helm, the army put its strategic units on combat alert and launched fresh threats to strike targets in the U.S. and South Korea. Pyongyang has been issuing increasingly fiery threats since the UN imposed sanctions on North Korea following the North's long-range rocket launch in December and its nuclear test last month. Cypriots are furious, fearing for their jobs and the future of banking in Cyprus. Hundreds of workers from the country's largest commercial bank, the Bank of Cyprus, marched to the central bank in Nicosia on Tuesday. They demanded the resignation of Central Bank Governor Panikos Demetriades over his handling of the financial crisis. Banks remained closed for the 12th day in a row as the authorities said superhuman efforts were being made to reopen them on Thursday. Fast-moving fires spread out of control in southern Australia. Aircraft carrying water and dozens of firefighting trucks were brought in to fight the blaze fanned by strong winds in the state of Victoria. East of Adelaide, 1,500 hectares of grassland and forest burnt out of control after breaking containment lines.